YouTubers, coming up on Yasmin's Cooking Show today, we continue our series on chicken. And the technique we're going to focus on is how to roast a 4-pound bird. Then we're going to pull the chicken apart and make a delicious barbecue chicken sandwich with a side of coleslaw. Our second item, it will be a chicken salad made with apples and walnuts. Following our time in the kitchen, we're going to transition over to segment number 2 to talk about nutrition. And today we'll discuss My Plate. It is a nutrition guide that replaced the food pyramid in 2011. And then finally, in our last segment, a moment in food history. We are going to talk about America's most famous cereal, cornflakes. I'm Yasmin. Welcome to my channel. Let's get started. The holidays are around the corner, and when it comes to roasting poultry, you want to have 3 end goals in mind. An attractive bird that's cooked all the way with lots and lots of flavor. And to add flavor to a whole bird, whether it be turkey or chicken, I want to introduce you to the science of brining. It's spelled B-R-I-N-I-N-G, brining. Brining is a culinary technique that involves soaking protein in salt water. What it does is, brining causes a change in the structure of the proteins in the muscle of the bird. And then the muscles become sticky, which allows them to hold moisture. And the final result after roasting is a juicy bird. For example, did you know that when you eat a hot dog, it's the salt that gives it its plumpiness? My ratio for brining is 2-2-2. For every 2 pounds of protein, we need 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. Therefore, for this 4.5-pound bird, we'll make the brine with 5 tablespoons of salt. Let it sit in the solution overnight and roast it tomorrow. It's time to roast the chicken, and now I'm going to teach you how to truss a bird. Trussing is tying a bird into a more compact shape with a thread. Doing so helps the bird cook more evenly, it helps the bird retain moisture, and it improves the appearance of your finished product. Now, if you're stuffing the bird, you obviously want to do that before tying it up. To begin, let's tuck the wings in to prevent overcooking and burning. Next, cut a piece of twine about 3 times the length of the bird. Now, with the breast up and the neck facing you, pass the twine under the bird in front of the tail and hold. Bring the twine up around the legs and cross the end, creating an X between the legs. Now, pass the end of the twine below the legs. Below the legs. Pull the ends of the twine tightly across the leg and thigh joints and across the wings. Finally, pull the string tight and tie it securely just above the neck. A 4.5 pound bird should roast in about 60 to 65 minutes, rotating it 3 times every 20 minutes. Wing side up, the other wing side up, and then the breast side up. The first thing I do is preheat the roasting pan before the chicken goes in. Otherwise, this side will end up at a much lower temperature, and we don't want that. So our roasting pan will preheat for 15 minutes at 375. Meanwhile, let's brush the chicken with butter and rub it with some pepper. Now, I'm not rubbing any salt because of the brine. My roasting pan is nice and hot, and I'm going to rotate the bird every 20 minutes and roast it until my thermometer reads 165 to 170. Our chicken is done, and I am going to let it rest for 40 minutes. Now, if I were carving it to serve right away, the time would have been about 20 minutes to allow the temperature to carry over. But because we're going to pull it apart to make barbecue chicken sandwiches, I'm going to let it cool for 40 minutes so I don't burn my hands. I've deboned the chicken off camera, and we have here about 2 pounds of white and dark meat. And I'm going to teach you how to make 2 different sandwiches today. You know, places like Subway, Wawa, Jimmy John's, and Au Bon Pain are great, but you can make your own sandwiches and save money during lunch. So here we go. The first sandwich I'm going to teach you how to make today will be a barbecue sandwich with a side of KFC's coleslaw. KFC was my very first job in high school, and I think the Colonel makes the best coleslaw. And I remember I used to love shredding cabbage in the back. All right, so we have here 8 ounces of dog meat, 1 teaspoon of Texas Pete hot sauce, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 small shallot minced and sauteed and cooled, 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, half a cup of sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, 1 tablespoon of chopped pineapple, some salt and pepper to taste, and 1 toasted hoagie roll. We're going to mix everything in the bowl, and that's it. With the second sandwich, these are my favorite condiments, so be creative with yours. I have sweet peppers, creamy sriracha sauce, mayo, sauteed onions, cheese, tomatoes, and watercress. Now, I prefer my sandwich nice and warm, so the bread, the meat, the cheese, and the onions will be toasted.